welcome to Math Advice. In this video, I am going to explain hypothesis testing for large samples. Samples can be identified as small samples or large samples based on its size. Size of the sample is denoted by the letter n. If the value of n is greater than or equal to 30, then we set such type of sample as a large sample. On the otherwise, if the value of n is strictly less than 30, then we say that type of sample as small samples. There are so many tests available to test the hypothesis. For large samples, we make use of z-test to test the significance for single mean, difference of mean, single proportion and difference of proportions. Here, I am going to explain z-test for single mean. Suppose, if we want to test whether the given sample of size n has been drawn from the same population, then we make use of z-test for single mean. So, here the z-test for single mean is used to test whether the given sample have been drawn from the same population or not. For that purpose only, we make use of z-test. So, here we have to set up our null hypothesis as null hypothesis H naught, as there is no significant difference, there is no significant difference between the sample mean and population mean and the population mean. That means the sample has drawn from the same population. Or alternatively, we have to set up the alternative hypothesis. There is a significant difference between the sample mean and population mean. So, before we are going to discuss about the alternative hypothesis in detail, let me have a look at the test statistic used in z-test. So, under the null hypothesis H naught, the test statistic is z is equal to x bar minus mu over sigma by square root of n. Let me explain the symbols used in both population and sample. For a sample, its mean is represented by the letter x bar and standard deviation is denoted by this letter s. And for a population, its mean is denoted by using the letter mu and its standard deviation by sigma. And for a sample, number of observations is represented by using the letter n, and for population we use capital letter N. So, for a sample we use small n, and for population we make use of uppercase N to denote the number of observations. So here the test statistic is used as z is equal to x bar minus mu over sigma divided by square root of n. Here, if you know the value of sigma, that is the population standard deviation, we make use of that value and calculate the value of z. Suppose if you don't know the population standard deviation, in case we make use of sample standard deviation value. If sigma is known, we make use of that value, or otherwise we make use of the sample standard deviation. Before we move on to the test procedure involved in z-test, let me have a short look over one-tailed test and two-tailed test. what it means. What happens if it is one-tailed test and if it is two-tailed test? Let me explain this by taking a simple example. Let me take the two popular brands of car batteries produced by the two companies as A and B. Company A producing the car batteries with mean life mu1 using some standard process, whereas company B producing car batteries using some new techniques and gives a mean life as mu2. So here both of the companies producing the car batteries, whereas the mean life of first one is mu1 and the second one is mu2. The first company using some standard process to produce the car batteries, whereas company B uses some new techniques for producing car batteries. Suppose in my first case, if we want to test if the car batteries differ significantly, in such case my alternative hypothesis as mu1 is not equal to mu2. That means if the car batteries of the two companies differ significantly means my alternative hypothesis mu1 is not equal to mu2. Let me take the level of significance as alpha as 5%. Let me show you this by drawing a standard normal curve. It's a bell-shaped curve. This for the center. So if it is 5%, definitely the critical region falls in two tails. So alpha by 2 is 5% over 2, you get 2.5%. So this is the region alpha by 2 that falls in two tails of the normal curve. That means alpha by 2 means 0.025 in decimals. Here itself alpha by 2 is 0.025. Actually the area under the standard normal curve is exactly equal to 1. That is, it has 0.5 to the left hand side and 0.5 to the right hand side. So for the table value of Z at 5% level of significances, Z is equal to minus 1.96 and Z equal to plus 1.96. So if my calculated value falls in this region, definitely I am going to accept the null hypothesis. Or otherwise I am going to reject the null hypothesis. That means this is the rejection region. This is my acceptance region. Whereas these two shaded regions are my rejection region. So if it is a two-tailed test, this is a two-tailed test. That means the critical region falls in two tails of the normal curve. Let me move on to the second case. Suppose if the mean life of the batteries produced by company A is less than that of B. In such case, my alternative hypothesis mu1 is less than mu2. Here my null hypothesis, there is no change in my null hypothesis, that is mu1 is equal to mu2, whereas my alternative hypothesis here is mu1 less than mu2. Here I have to say this as a left-tailed test. This gives us a one-tailed test. That means here itself I have to take the level of significance alpha as 5%. So if it is mu1 less than mu2 means the 5%, that is the alpha value, that is the critical region, falls in only one side of the normal curve. That means 5% falls here. That is 0.05. So my rejection region falls in only one side of the curve. So this is my rejection region. The remaining regions here are my acceptance region. Actually, the table value of Z at 5% level of significance for this falls in the left side of the, that means the critical region here falls in left side tail of a normal curve. So I have to say this is a left tail test. The rejection region falls in left side of the normal curve. So I have to say this test is a left tailed test. So the value of Z is at 5% level of significance for left tail test is minus 1.645. So if my calculated value falls in this region, means I have to accept, or otherwise I have to reject the null hypothesis H naught. Let me move on to the next case. H naught, that is mu1 is equal to mu2. Here I have to take my alternative hypothesis. Suppose if the mean life of the car batteries produced by company A is superior than that of B, then in such cases my alternative hypothesis mu1 is greater than mu2. Here itself I take the level of significance alpha as 5%. If it is like that, this falls the right tail of the normal curve. That means the rejection region falls in the right hand side. That is alpha equal to 5%. That means 0.05. So if the value of Z falls in this region, means we have to accept the null hypothesis. This is my acceptance region and this is my rejection region. So here the critical region, look at here, the critical region or rejection region falls at the right hand side of the normal curve. So we call this type of test as right tailed test. And also the value of table value of Z at 5% level of significance for a right tailed test is Z equal to plus 1.645. So if the values are, if it is plus 1, 0 or if it is negative, something like that, we have to accept, or otherwise we reject the null hypothesis. So based on the problem itself, we have to decide whether we have to follow one-tailed test or two-tailed test for an alternative hypothesis. So it's based on the situation of the problem. So if there is no difference, means we have to take two-tailed test. If there is a difference, that is one is superior or inferior than the other, means we make use of lesser or greater value. Symbols like that. So based on that, we have to choose the test, maybe of left-tailed or right-tailed test. So this is how we have to choose the test, that is of one-tailed or two-tailed. Next we move on to the test procedure. So these are all the steps we have followed to test the hypothesis using Z-test for single mean. Here the null hypothesis, usually it is denoted as H naught. So here we have to set up the null hypothesis. There is no significant difference between the sample mean and population mean. There is no significant difference between the sample mean and population mean. So here we have to set up the alternating hypothesis. Based on the problem itself, we have to decide whether it is of two-tailed or one-tailed. Level of significance we have to take 1% or 5%. If it is given, we have to take that value, or otherwise we may choose 1% or 5% level of significance. The test statistic here we have used as under the null hypothesis H naught, Z is equal to x bar minus mu by sigma by root n. So after calculating the value of Z, let us come to a conclusion by comparing the calculated value with the tabulated value. If the calculated value is less than or equal to the table value, then we accept the null hypothesis, or otherwise we reject the null hypothesis. So this is what the test procedure we have followed using is test for single mean. Let me move on to a simple problem and explain the procedure involved in this test in detail. The mean lifetime of a sample of 100 light bulbs produced by a company is found to be 1580 hours with the standard deviation of 90 hours. Test the hypothesis that the mean lifetime of the tubes produced by the company is 1600 with 5% level of significance. First, let us write what is given in our problem. So, given n, that is sample value. The number of samples they have given here as 100. So, the mean lifetime of a sample of 100 light tubes produced by a company is found to be 1580 hours. That means the mean life of a sample of 100 bulbs is 1580 hours. That means here the value of x bar is given as 1580. And then next, with the standard deviation of, so the sample standard deviation S is given as 90. Test the hypothesis that the mean lifetime of the tubes produced by the company is, so the mean of the population is given as 1600 with 5% level of significance. Here the value of alpha is also given. So these are all the values given in the problems. So now what we are going to do now is look at the value of n first. The value of n is 100. It is greater than 30, so it falls under the category of Z test. So this gives you an idea about which test we have to follow. So I am going to use Z test. For that it is given one mean and its standard deviation and population mean. Now I am going to set up my null hypothesis H naught as mu is equal to 1600. That means there is no significant difference between the sample mean and population mean, or the mean lifetime of the tubes produced by the company is 1600 hours. I have to set up my alternative hypothesis H1 as nothing is mentioned about its lifetime. That means whether it is increased or decreased by adopting some new technique, something like that. Nothing is mentioned. So I have to take my alternative hypothesis mu1 is not equal to 1600. That means 1600. This falls under two-tailed test. Next, level of significance alpha, it is given as 5%. After set up the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, let me move on to the test statistic. Under the null hypothesis H naught, my test statistic is Z is equal to x bar minus mu over sigma by square root of n. So the value of x bar and mu is, x bar is 1580 and mu is 1600. So 1580 minus 1600 over the value of sigma is, here population standard deviation is not given. So instead of that we make use of the sample standard deviation, that is 90. So 90 over square root of n values, the number of samples, that is given as 100. This is the value of n, that is 100. By calculating, so by subtracting these we get minus 20 in the numerator over 90 divided by the square root of 100 is nothing but 10 itself, that is minus 20 over 90 over 10 is 9 itself. So by dividing minus 20 by 9 we get negative 2.22. So the value of z is minus 2.22. This is our calculated value. Now we have to compare this calculated value with the table value. So for 5% level of significance in a two-tailed test, the value of z is 1.96. So table value of z at 5% level of significance for a two-tailed test is 1.96. This is our calculated value. We have to compare this calculated value with the table value by taking its absolute value. So absolute value of z is 2.22. That means negative becomes positive. So my calculated value of z, that is absolute z, is greater than table value of z. Isn't it? Our calculated value, that means absolute z as 2.22, which is strictly greater than my table value 1.96. So we reject H dot. That means alternatively we have to accept the alternative hypothesis H1. That means there is a significant difference between the sample mean and population mean. Or otherwise, the mean lifetime of the bulbs is not 1600 hours. And just show you how it is rejected, how the value of Z falls in the rejection region. This is standard normal curve. So center point 0. You get the value minus 2.2, that is minus 2.2. Here the level of significance is 5% and we have followed two-tailed test. So the rejection region falls in two tails of the normal curve. So that is 0.025 to the left hand side and also 0.025 to the right hand side, isn't it? Because 5%, when you divide the level of significance 5% divided by 2, you get 2.5%. That means 0.025. This is my region of acceptance. This is my acceptance region, and these shaded regions are my rejection region. The value of Z at 5% level of significance for a two-tailed test is 1.96. So in a negative side I get minus 1.96, whereas in a positive side I get plus 1.96. The calculated value of Z is minus 2.2. Minus 2.2 is approximately here, isn't it? So it falls in the rejection region. That's why we reject the null hypothesis H null. Let me now move on to another problem. A sample of 100 people is taken from a large population. The mean height of the people in this sample is 160 centimeter. Can it be reasonably regarded that this sample is from a population of mean 165 centimeter and the standard deviation is 10 centimeter? We have to take the sample of size 100. So n given as 100. First we have to write down what are the given values. N is equal to 100. So this means the value of n is greater than 30. So this falls under the large samples. So we make use of Z test. The mean height of the people in this sample is 160 centimeter. So mean height, that is x bar, is 160. Can it be reasonably regarded that this sample is from a population of mean? Population mean, it is given as 165 centimeter and the standard deviation, that is sigma, given here as 10. Here I am going to first set up the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. First I am going to set up the null hypothesis as mu is equal to 165. That is, there is no significant difference between the sample mean and population mean. Alternatively, I am going to set up the alternative hypothesis, that is H1 as mu is not equal to 165. I think this falls under two-tailed test. Because nothing is mentioned about the height. Next, level of significance alpha as 5%. Because nothing is mentioned about the level of significance, so by default we have to take that as 5%. So the test statistic here we have used as under H naught, Z is equal to x bar minus mu over sigma by root n. So the value of x bar and mu is 160 and 165. So 160 minus 165 over sigma. The value of sigma given here as 10 and n value is 100. 10 over square root of 100. By simplifying, minus 5. 160 minus 165 is minus 5. 10 over square root of 100 is nothing but 10 itself. So you get the value minus 5. Isn't it? So the value of Z is minus 5. Its absolute value is plus 5. And the table value of Z at 5% level of significance for a two-tailed test is 1.96, isn't it? So the table value of Z at 5% level of significance for a two-tailed test is 1.96. Now we compare these two values. The calculated value of absolute Z is strictly greater than our table value of Z. That is, this is 5 is strictly greater than 1.96, isn't it? So we reject the null hypothesis H naught. Or alternatively, we have to say we have to accept the alternative hypothesis H1. I am going to explain how the rejection region falls here. It's a standard normal curve. So if it is a two-tailed test, definitely the critical region falls in two sides of the normal curve. Since we have to take 5% level of significance, so 0.025 to the left hand side and 0.025 to the right hand side of the tails of the curve. This is my acceptance region and this is my rejection region or critical region. The value of Z at 5% level of significance in negative side is minus 1.96, whereas in positive side is plus 1.96. But the calculated value I have obtained as Z is equal to minus 5. So it falls here approximately, isn't it? So that's why we have to reject the null hypothesis. Hope you got a clear idea about the Z test for a single mean using two-tailed test. Thanks for watching. See you again in my next video.